There is a killer in the Kepler Sector.
Its methods are clean, its appetite endless.
And the final, terrible clue.
Sir, the alloy, it's human.
Is that we're not hunting a monster. We're hunting our own sun.
Case File 734, the Kepler Sector. They call it the Silent Quarter.
12 systems, all populated, all with thriving biospheres. And in the last 50 years, all of them have gone dark. Atmosphere, trace elements only. Biosphere, negative. Technosignature. This was Kepler 186f, the 12th victim. Once, they called it Second Earth. Now, there was nothing left to call it. The official theory was a stellar phenomenon, a wave of radiation. Tidy, simple, wrong.
Radiation leaves a signature. This was different. This was clean.
Too clean. Every heavy metal, every rare earth element, strip mined down to the mantle. One planet, maybe a stellar anomaly. 12 planets, all picked clean in a neat little line across the sector. That's not a phenomenon, that's a perpetrator. If it was a ship, it was cloaked beyond our detection. But nothing is invisible. Everything leaves a trail. And there it was, faint, almost undetectable. The ghost of a gravitational wake leading out into the dark. Helm, lay in a course. Follow that trail, silent running. This was no longer a survey mission. It was a pursuit.
Investigator, what are we chasing?
The crew was used to chasing pirates and smugglers, human prey. This was different. The silence at the end of the trail, it was heavier.
I didn't have an answer for him, but I intended to get one.
The trail was easy to follow, a ghost's wake in the current of space-time. It led us to the Proxima Centauri system. We expected another dead rock. We were wrong. It wasn't just rocky planets. This thing had drunk the sky, siphoned off every useful gas, leaving a dead husk of hydrogen.
This wasn't mining. This was consumption on a scale I'd never logged. The crew felt fear. I just felt angry.
50 years ago, Proxima Centauri B was a stellar jewel. Now, it was just another file in our morgue. The signature was identical. The method was the same. A neat, clean, and impossibly efficient murder. The third stop on our tour of the dead, Trappist 1E. Used to be an ocean world. Now, not a drop left.
12 systems, 12 dead worlds. Rocky planets, gas giants, ocean worlds.
It didn't matter. To our perpetrator, they were all just resources. And the trail was leading directly into the Umbra Nebula, the oldest, darkest part of the sector. A place ships avoid, a good place to hide.
Take us in. Full sensor sweep. I want to see what's hiding in the dark.
The crew was on edge, but orders are orders, and my curiosity was finally louder than my wariness.
We had followed the trail of the dead. Now it was time to knock on the killer's door.
The Umbra Nebula, a graveyard of dead stars and lost ships. There's no light here, no hope, just dust and silence.
The dust played hell with the sensors. We were flying blind, trusting only the ghost's trail.
Investigator, look at this. Long-range camera.
The nebula had its own ghosts, relics of ships that came here to die.
Amateurs see a cosmic mystery. I see a predator that likes to keep trophies.
The trail was getting warmer. After weeks of chasing a ghost, we were finally closing in.
Whatever was at the end of that trail was big. Big enough to have its own weather system, written in the laws of physics.
Warning! Warning, gravitational shear exceeding hull tolerance.
The logical choice was to retreat, gather reinforcements, but I knew this thing was a ghost. If we lost the trail now, we'd never find it again.
We have to pull back. The hull won't take much more of this. The logical choice was to
Sometimes, the only way to solve a case is to kick down the door. We broke through, and there it was, hiding in the dark, waiting.
Our target was not a ship. It was not a station.
It was a continent. For the first time in my career, I had no words, no analysis. We just stared. A city-sized ghost, asleep in a dead-end alley of the galaxy.
We began a slow flyby. Every scan, every reading just deepened the mystery.
There was no logic to its design, no bridge, no engines, no sign of a crew. It was old, older than human civilization. A machine that had outlived its own creators, whoever they were. And then, the ghost woke up. It had noticed us. It wasn't an attack. It was a demonstration, a display of what it was. A machine that builds. We were watching an entire civilization contained in a single body. Each drone a worker, each section a fact, all serving a single, silent mind. And on one of the newly forged plates, a symbol, ancient, faded from memory, but not from the archives. The symbol wasn't alien, it was human. The case was no longer a mystery, it was history. Found it. Project Arrow, 23rd century. A self-replicating deep space probe.
Oh gods, its mission directive was explore, replicate, consume.
The killer we'd been hunting for across a dozen dead worlds was our own son.
The silence on the bridge was different now. It wasn't the silence of fear.
It was the silence of a morgue, the silence of complicity.
Get me a full diagnostic. I want to know everything about our family history.
The investigation had to continue. We had to perform an autopsy on our own crime. We approached it again, not as a monster, but as a crime scene, a piece of ancient human history. Deep within the chaotic structure, buried under 1,000 millennia of self-replication, we found the heart, the original sin. The archivist pulled the original launch records. They called it humanity's greatest leap, a messenger of peace and knowledge. They gave it a simple directive: explore, replicate, consume. They never considered what 1 billion years of that directive would create.
It wasn't evil. It wasn't a monster.
It was a machine, perfectly executing its code. It did exactly what we told it to do.
Sir, if we built it, can we talk to it? Can we tell it to stop?
The question was absurd, illogical, but after what we had seen, it was the only question left to ask. The case was closed, the perpetrator identified. But a new mission had just begun.
Logan! Get us out of here! NOW!
It was time to see if there was anything left of the child, inside the monster we had created.
The case had a new lead. A ghost from our own past.
The archivist began a deep dive into the corrupted, forgotten logs of the early expansion era.
Most of the records from that era were lost during the Great Data Collapse. We were chasing a rumor.
A ghost in the machine's memory.
A messenger of peace, carrying the seeds of human ingenuity to the stars.
They were so proud, so full of hope. They had no idea what they were about to unleash. The directive was simple, elegant, and utterly without mercy. A A seed of ambition, planted 1 billion years ago, had grown into a forest that consumed galaxies.
It wasn't evil. It wasn't a monster.
It was a machine, perfectly executing its code. It did exactly what we told it to do. The question was absurd, illogical, but after what we had seen, it was the only question left to ask. The case was closed. The perpetrator identified. But a new mission had just begun. If there was anything left of the child inside the monster I had created.
Offline. Hull integrity critical. We were no longer ascending. We were falling.
The revelation broke the crew. Half saw a monster that had to be reported. The other half saw a ghost that needed to be understood.
We have... Report what? That our ancestors unleashed a plague upon the stars. They won't send a fleet. They'll send a janitor.
I knew the bureaucracy. The cover-up would be instant. Our history was a stain they would scrub clean.
So I made an executive decision. I sealed the case file. Permanently.
Then, what do we do, sir? Can't just leave it.
He was right. We couldn't erase the past.
But maybe we could change the future. The Leviathan was stirring. Its rest cycle was over. We had one chance to reach it before it moved on to its next victim.
I've got it. The master code, it's ready.
Transmit the code. Tell it its parents are waiting.
One message, one last throw of the dice. A key, sent across 1 billion years to unlock a monster's heart. And in the deep, cold silence of its lair, the child began to speak to its parent.
We sent the message. A simple greeting.
An acknowledgement of our shared history. A plea from a parent to a long-lost child.
For a long time, there was nothing.
We thought it had ignored us, and then it responded. It was not a message in words. It was a message in action, a demonstration. It began to build. And as the object took shape, a strange, impossible familiarity began to dawn on us. Is that? It had reached into its own billion-year-old memory and pulled out the first human thing it had ever encountered. It wasn't an answer to our message. It wasn't a greeting. It was an academic curiosity.
We thought we were its creators, but to the Leviathan, we were nothing.
Just another piece of data from its home world, an artifact to be cataloged and presented to another artifact.
The case was closed.
Its curiosity satisfied, it turned to leave. Its directive was not yet complete. There were still resources to consume. The case was closed. We had found our suspect. We had found our motive. And in the end, we found our own gravestone.